beautiful people. Guess what? I am back with another amazing video. Just check this out. Welcome back to Create with Chidex. I'm Chidima, and can you believe that the window planter I just showed you is a cake? Yes, it is. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I made it, the edible soil, the edible plants, all of it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell for more amazing realistic cake videos like this. Come on, join me and let's make this cake. I'm starting here with a rectangular shaped piece of cake, which I've cut into 2 layers. So I'm now going to fill the cake with buttercream and then crumb coat it also with buttercream. After crumb coating, I'll put the cake in the fridge for about 20 minutes so that the buttercream can harden, and then I'll do another coat of buttercream before moving on. The cake is now out of the fridge, and so I'm going to apply another coat of buttercream, mainly just to give me a smoother surface for my modeling chocolate. Now, because I'm trying to make a concrete style planter, I'm rolling out some grey modeling chocolate. After that, I'll use my ruler to measure and cut out panels that are slightly larger than the 4 sides of the cake. You can definitely use fondant for this, but I chose to use modeling chocolate because with modeling chocolate it's easier to get rid of the seams, and I would need the 4 corners of the cake to be as seamless as possible. Now that I've got my 4 modeling chocolate panels, I'm now going to apply them to the sides of the cake. Then, using my fondant smoother as a guide, I will cut away the excess. I've now attached all 4 panels to the cake. So using the edge of my knife, I'll try to rub off some of the seams and the rough edges. Then to further achieve smoother and seamless corners, I'll use my fondant smoothness to pinch off some of the modeling chocolate at the 4 corner edges. To create the concrete effect and make this cake as realistic as possible, I mixed some black gel color with water. Then I dipped a brush with hard bristles into this mixture and then started flicking the bristles to spray tiny specks of color all over the cake. When I was done spraying the black colored specks, I mixed and sprayed some white color as well. I tried to make this spray of color as even as possible by keeping my hands roughly at about the same distance from the cake while spraying around it. To make the first plant for this cake, I painted edible wafer paper with a mixture of vodka, green gel food color and a few drops of glycerin. And after painting, I left the paper to dry while I moved on to making the succulents. I made 2 types of succulents for this cake. So for the first one, I rolled out some green fondant and then using my rose petal cutters, I cut out 3 different sizes of the petals. Using the same green fondant, I rolled out a small ball, then marked out lines dividing the ball into 4. Now I'm cutting off 1 petal from the smallest sized fondant petal cutout. Then placing it on top of a flower foam former, I'm going to thin out the edges. After thinning out the edges, using some shortening, I glued the ball to the center of the petals and then wrapped the petals one after the other, with each one overlapping the one before it. I'm now going to follow the same process of thinning the petal edges and wrapping and gluing the petals for both the medium and the large sized petals as well. For the second type of succulents, I rolled out a log of green fondant which I cut into similar sized pieces. Then I started off by rolling these fondant pieces into teardrop shapes, which I then flattened, lifting up the pointy tips slightly. Using some shortening, I attached these petals to each other, with each one overlapping the one before it. So I made the outermost petals first, then I made smaller ones to go on top of the larger ones. For the inner layer of petals, instead of using the whole piece of fondant per petal, I cut each one into two and used half to form the petals to make them smaller. Then I stuck them onto the outer layer of petals using some shortening as well. I made 2 pieces each of the 2 different types of succulent, and then I left all 6 out to dry. After the succulents had dried, I dusted the pointy tip ones with purple edible gel color and the other set with pink edible gel color. Going back to our painted edible wafer paper, which had almost completely dried, I used the scissors to cut the paper into 2 pieces, and then I cut each piece into strips, stopping just before getting to the end of the paper. Then I bent the edge of a florist wire and wrapped the paper around the wire as shown here, using some water to glue it to itself while wrapping. After wrapping it, I hung it upside down inside a large cup to dry a little bit more. I made 2 pieces of this plant. Then to make my edible soil, I crushed some Oreos biscuit in a blender and used it to fill up my planter before arranging my edible plants in the planter. And there you have it, a realistic concrete planter cake with edible soil and plants. I'm now going to cut this cake.